Test. Good evening, everyone. If we could take your seats, we're going to have a bit of a presentation before we then go back to a meet and greet. So find a chair. Do I need to be louder? Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out this evening. I'm Linda Olson. I'm the mayor, and our city council members are here. I'd like each one of them to stand so they can be recognized for this process we've been going through as a city. With Danielle Sierra, District 1, Councilmember Dave Cuesta, District 4, Councilmember Cheryl Wink, who is at large, and Mayor Pro Tem Russell over here, who is also at large. And then Councilmember Lorette Barentine is on her way. She's at District 3. And then finally, Councilmember Amy Martinez will not be here tonight. We knew that all along. This whole process has been interesting to figure out how to work around everyone's vacation time as well as business trips, and I think we've figured it out, so she'll be watching everything. But again, thank you for being here. It's really very important to have the city citizens involved in some ways and giving us feedback to this process, which is so critical for the future of the city. I was telling a colleague at work today that I didn't sleep very well last night, and they said, why, what's up? And I said, well, we have these city manager candidates in the city today that we're interviewing all afternoon. And they go, why are you nervous? They're the ones that should be nervous. And I said, it's just such an important part of the city. And I'm nervous for them because these are three people who've put their public self out there for them to be in the public light with cameras and everything going on, which is the oddest thing in the world to have to go through. And yet that's what we do in the public hiring of people. So I so appreciate the three candidates and what you're willing to do to put yourselves through this and to be a part of our cities trying to figure out what our future is going to be and who's going to lead us next. So thank you very much for being here. I also wanted to recognize our interim city manager, Dorothy Hargrove. Are you in here somewhere? There she is. So this woman has been our acting interim city manager for the last, I don't know, since the fall, and has done just an amazing job. We could not be continuing in the way that we have without her. And a number of directors and staff in the area that are here tonight. Appreciate it. So tonight we're going to have 4 minutes of a little presentation from each of the three candidates, and then afterwards it's going to be a meet and greet. So there's not going to be a Q&A time for every one of the candidates here publicly. You're going to get to go off. They'll be in 3 different parts of the room, and then you can go to them and ask questions, get some perspective. But the one thing we'll ask you, and we might actually sort of say time after 5 minutes or so, maybe a little longer, just to have you keep moving. Try not to just take someone's time for a long period so that everyone here gets a chance to meet all three and ask questions, okay? So I have one more person I wanted to thank, and that is Heidi Voorhees, who is our from HR Gov, who's been running the whole search for us. She's been a phenomenal person to work with through this, and I've been through a few here, and I cannot tell you how thankful I am for her firm and the leadership that she's given to us. So we're going to go in alphabetical order, and if you did not pick up one of these over here on the round table, this is a little brief kind of resume on each one of our candidates. And so first up tonight is Scott Andrews. And so Scott, thank you for being here from Smyrna, Georgia.
Thank you, Mayor.
You really have to speak into them.
Well, if you thought you were nervous last night, Mayor, let me tell you. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? My name is Scott Andrews. I am originally from Tampa. I have called Atlanta home for the last 5 years. My public service career, which has been 16 years now, started in recreation. It's quite ironic. I got my foot in the door through serving as a coach, and that kind of led as my Rec Leader 3 status and climbed the ladder there. I had some absolutely fantastic mentors that opened my eyes to more. As I continued to serve that community for the next 11 years, I grew in rank, and I obtained all 3 of my degrees while working in the public sector. I transitioned there through the help of my mentors and through the engagement of the Florida City County Management and International City County Managers Association to the city of Sugar Hill, Georgia, which is an Atlanta suburb. So there I served as the Economic Development Director. Some of the key projects that I'm really proud of there, we had a public bond that spawned the creation of a downtown. So I came to a city, I picked my team, and I had a blank canvas to play with. It was quite unique. I may never get that opportunity again in my career, but economic development remains a passion of mine. That $50 million spawned $300 million in private sector development there. I know you've seen similar growth here in the past. That's something I'm real proud of. In addition to the community engagement work we did there in the former city, everything from historic preservation groups to youth council to a little bit of everything in between. That city was very unique. We built an event venue and had $1 million event lineup. So we had artists Joan Jett, Third Eye Blind, Travis Tritt, a little bit of everything. So economic development for me was a little bit of everything from community relations to community development and redevelopment. I had the fantastic mentor there that just totally prepared me and exposed me to everything. So I made a smooth transition right about 30 miles down the street to Smyrna, Georgia. Smyrna is, if anyone's a baseball fan, the Atlanta Braves are right next door, so they plopped a playoff contending team down and all the challenges that came with that, calling that city home. So in my current city, I oversee 7 departments. However, I'm blessed to have a mentor that totally lets me run with free rein as long as I don't get myself in trouble and keep council and staff informed. So there, my departments range from IT to historic preservation, museum, everything in between. So we have full service there, about 70,000 residents. So, but I like the range of about 35,000. That sounds real familiar here, and that's something that big reason why I want to be here. My first 2 communities were cities of about 35,000, and you have that the big city amenities next door, but yet the small city feel. So what's really not to like here? You've got a fantastic leadership team. I spent the day here meeting staff, and what a dedicated group. I seriously had validated every reason why I wanted to be there. The leadership team, just the 20 minutes or so I've met with the community folks here, you guys each have your passion. Any differences I've seen in the community are just on how to get from point A to point B. I think that's one of my strengths. I'm a consensus building coach, cheerleader. I am here to bridge the gap between the community and council, as well as staff and the council. Clear, continuous communication is just something I think I can do, and here the opportunities that face Inglewood are also my strengths. Everything you mentioned, succession planning, infrastructure, growth management, those are all things I've succeeded with in the past and something I know I can do a good job here with. Well, being that 2 of the 3 largest employers here in the city are hospitals, my fiance is a nurse. She's outside with the U-Haul, and she's wearing a pirate shirt. I'm ready to go, and so I've got to get going. I hope that the next time I meet each of you, I'll introduce myself as Scott Andrews, the city manager of Inglewood. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up is James, who goes by Sean Lewis, and here from the long, faraway city of Longmont. Thank you.
Good evening. I want to start by thanking City Council and all of you who have come out tonight. Today has been an amazing experience learning more about the community. I know we're here tonight to talk about the next city manager for Inglewood, but I want to share something that I've learned in my 20 years in city government, and that is that at any given point, any employee for the city of Inglewood can be the most important employee. And let me tell you what I'm talking about. It might be a public works employee who's driving around during a storm, and they notice a storm drain that's not working properly, and they take action to fix that. It might be a code enforcement officer that's helping a property owner to clean up that property, and when they do clean it up, it helps stabilize the neighborhood and maintain those property values around it. It might be a planner that helps to get a project to city council that the community really needs, or maybe that same planner that says, you know what, we're not recommending approval because it doesn't match the character of the neighborhood. But regardless of the city employee, every city employee helps to determine the future of this community. And that's why I want to be a city manager. You know, when this job opportunity came in across my desk, I wasn't really looking for a job. I'm very happy where I'm at in Longmont. But as I looked at the challenges that are facing Inglewood, I realized that there was a real kind of alignment with the experience that I've had in older communities. All of the communities I've worked in have been historic communities. And I think that just those skills and talents and abilities kind of align with some of the needs that we have here in Inglewood. Also working in older communities, Longmont, like Inglewood, was founded in the mid-1860s, and we have a lot of generational residents who have been in the community for a long time. Meeting some of you, I know that is the truth for Inglewood too. And you really sometimes have a push-pull between people that have been here for their whole lives, their families have been here, but you also have newcomers that are wanting everything to change. And so I've worked really hard throughout my career to really balance those sometimes competing priorities, and I want to help to do that here in Inglewood as well. We also, working in older communities, you sometimes have neighborhoods and residential areas that are starting to decline. So I've worked a lot in using economic development tools, code enforcement, and lots of resources, infrastructure improvements to try to stabilize those neighborhoods and even revitalize those. You know, also like Inglewood, Longmont's really struggling with the issue of homelessness. One of the most recent things we've done in that area is partnered with our Downtown Development Authority to create a ranger program. And those rangers are patrolling areas that are frequented by homeless individuals. And yes, they're enforcing rules like camping and littering and that sort of thing, but they're also providing informational resources to try to help those individuals access food and housing. We also are a leader in coordinated entry, which is where we're really putting all of our agencies together and helping homeless individuals as we're providing services, also to work a plan to get housed, because that's really what we're aiming for, is to get more people in housing. You know, wherever I've been, I've really tried to build public trust, to build confidence, working with staff to build that confidence from the public to the city. And so here, I think we've got some work to do, and I know that we've got our work cut out for us, but I think by having an open dialogue and the city listening to residents and listening to businesses and listening to our partner organizations like the Chamber and others, I think that we can really move the ball and really try to help council refine their vision, and then city staff work tirelessly to implement that vision. And I think together we can have a more open and transparent government that's also really moving the ball to make Inglewood the greatest city that it can be. And so thank you again for this opportunity, and I look forward to hopefully many more forums like this in the future with you.
Thank you, Sean. And next is Andrew Lichterman, and coming here from the village of Deerfield, Illinois. Thank you for being here.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for coming out tonight. I'm Andrew Lichterman. I have 9 years of experience working in the village manager's office for the village of Deerfield, Illinois, a northern suburb to the city of Chicago. The last 3.5 years, I've worked in the capacity as the assistant city manager, and it's really offered me a broad range of experiences, improving customer service, bringing innovation to the city, improving technological uses, and often reducing costs to our government. And during that time, I've dealt with crisis management as well as complex municipal issues. Municipal issues, they require both the technical expertise as well as a heightened level of emotional intelligence to navigate some of these complex issues, such as affordable housing and flooding. So why do I want to work for the city of Inglewood? 3 main reasons. I think there's inherent qualities that the city has that makes it attractive, probably many of the same reasons why you all found it attractive initially and why businesses want to locate here. I call these legacy wins. These include proximity to an airport, proximity to a major metropolitan city like Denver, a robust transportation network with trains and access to highways. But why is that important? It's important because I know how to leverage and capitalize on these amenities, these legacy wins that the city has. This is not dissimilar from Deerfield's geographic relationship to the city of Chicago, and I can help capitalize on these amenities to move the city forward. The second reason why I want to work for the city of Inglewood is I'm attracted to this level of public engagement, and you are all a testament to that tonight. It shows that the community cares. That's a community that I want to be part of. That's a community that I want to live in, raise my family in, and be the city manager of for the next 30 years. With regards to public engagement, I should also say democracy requires it, public participation, but I view myself as having two titles. As a diplomat, to work alongside the city council, to work with the different layers of government, and to work horizontally across borders with our neighboring municipalities, the school districts, and other intergovernmental partnerships. As an advocate, I want to be an advocate. As a city manager, I don't create the policy, I don't vote on the policy, but I do recommend policy, I do interpret, and I do enforce that policy. So I want to be an advocate to the constituency to help navigate those policy issues, make tweaks where necessary, and create new policies when it serves the public's interest. The third reason I want to work for the city of Englewood is I'm attracted to the opportunities and challenges that the city has. These are the challenges that I think I know very well. I understand the disruption that's caused from the sharing economy, the pressures that put on short-term rental housings, the pressures that puts on the changing nature of retail. I understand the pressures of the changing demographics that puts a demand on housing and that puts a demand on for different goods and services. All of this ties back to my economic development experience. But the important thing here is to balance those demands while we can preserve the history and the character of Englewood by managing that change and that need to adapt. And in closing, I'd just like to say this. I have a special connection to the city of Englewood. My mom came to America at the age of 21. She came from the country of Belize, a small country located in Central America. The first place that she located was the city of Englewood. Englewood, I know it to be a welcoming and inclusive community. She worked at a local nursing home. Englewood offered her the opportunity of a lifetime beyond what she could imagine. I view this as my opportunity to give back to the city of Englewood. Thank you.
Thank you again to the three of you and your willingness to be here and forge into this process with us. So really the evening is open now for you to spend some time chatting with the three folks here. And there are three kind of like, I guess, tables here that we can maybe park each one of you at it and maybe go claim your table. And just mill around and find your way. There's food in the back. Please help yourself to that. And again, be just watchful of your time and making sure that people are able to mill you through. Thank you very much.